Yeah. Amazing day, yo. How are we all doing? Miss Greatness,
Hey,
Miss Royal Highness, Her Royal Highness, I beg your pardon. And it's good to see everyone. We missed ID, don't we?
oh yeah, of course we do. Of course we do.
Too. But you know what? She's probably back from Bali, from my calculation, wherever. She's enjoying her life, which is well deserving. Anyhow, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear greatness. Happy birthday to you. People that might not know you, your birthday goes indefinitely and forever.
Thank you very much, Temi. You've really celebrated me. I was like, when does she upload all these pictures? I just see one at a time. I don't know why my system is showing me just one at a time.
One at a
Next time
time.
I come, there's another one. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is Temi doing?
There's another one that's supposed to go on. I put them on and then it didn't go. I'm like, what's happening? I need to put this. There's another,
Oh,
there's another nice one that has to go on, and I will still put it.
yeah, that was beautiful to see. Thank you very much. I really feel blessed and celebrated. Thank you very much.
You know you, Liz. You love your birthday. You love your birthday, and so, I mean, you. And truthfully, what I said about you is true. You're an amazing woman. You are so understanding and so I don't want to use the word enduring now, but you're so good. And I meant every word of it. And I don't know how to blah, 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 or lie to people. I tell them straight on. But truthfully, you are amazing. And I just wish that you continue to blossom in fullness of joy and overflow, continue to bless the nation as you do. So many more happy years ahead. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we give glory to God, really. Thank you very much.
That's okay. That's okay. But I've been meaning to share this word actually with you,
Yeah.
saying that a strong woman and a powerful woman. So
Mm-hmm.
with, I mean, I believe that the strong woman it connotes something physical that you can withstand pressure, and that is why I'm measuring my words, how I use it now. That you are
Yeah.
muscular. For decades and decades, you've been accepting to be a strong woman. But I thought powerful woman, it's not bad because when I look through it, it says you are potent, you are robust, you are a woman of substance, and you are influential. So I thought maybe powerful is better than strong. So what's your opinion on that?
You know, I really aligned myself with the strong woman side of things growing up, and I have noticed, how much the pursuit of being seen as a strong woman does damage to the people around you, to your own life, to your own children, and when I say the people around you, it can even mean the people in your team at work, because you are so targeted, you are so motivated, wanting to become and be seen as that strong woman. So you trample on anything that is in the way in order to get there. And that alone has really taught me that I don't want to be a strong woman anymore. I just want to be me. I want to be a woman, and I want to do the best that I can, you know, to the best of my abilities that I have at that point in time, not pursuing a powerful woman slogan or a strong woman slogan. I'm out of that. I'm just me, and it's I'm freeing. I'm not, pursuing anything anymore. I'm just being me and doing the best that I can.
That's so good. That's really good. I like that because even when I say I like the powerful woman, I don't like being called powerful. And I'm not doing anything anyway to make me powerful.
Yes,
So the people that are wanting to be powerful or strong, like you said, they will do everything to give them the power and all these things, which achieves nothing. By being a woman, just being you, being kind, being nice to your fellow person, and still follow whatever your passion is. That's all you need. You don't need to do extra to just be seen.
exactly. And you know what makes me or what made me kind of have second thoughts to the stereotypes that are coming with strong women and powerful women are, as I said, exactly that. It's not like what you have described now. What you have given now as descriptions are very innocent descriptions that you've given. People have got serious pursuits of, wanting to be seen as strong and as powerful, and they've got serious stereotypes for that. And that's what people pursue. That's what, we used to pursue. And it can do damage in the long run, even in the sense that you may not achieve, because you think you arrive, and then you just realize how far behind you are.
True.
Because there's all kinds of benchmarks that have been set for strong women and powerful women and all that, and you are forever in a rat chase. Yes, and you never arrive. And as of me, I just want to be me, Temi. I don't want to arrive to a place where people have set benchmarks. I am setting my own benchmark, and I want to arrive there on my terms. Then I'll say I'm a strong woman based on who and what I say a strong woman is.
Yeah. Fantastic. I like that because how much peace and joy and satisfaction and control of your life.
Absolutely.
So
Oh,
nice.
I love the control.
You're in control of your own life,
I
and
love the
very
control. Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
I
a good
love it.
one.
I
The
love it.
control is in your hands. The goals are in your hands. Nobody says anything for you. Good one, Timmy.
That makes sense. No wonder the peace. Let's go on a quick break, and we will come back to tell you what we've got in store for you today. Welcome back, everyone. And we're just chatting about powerful women and strong women. There's another spin that I'm going to throw in now, and I will hear your own input as well. And if you got something to share with us, would you do that? But today, we're going to have a woman of substance. I wouldn't say powerful woman or strong woman, but a woman of substance. This woman is amazing. I saw her very soft, but what she does and how she delivers it, admirable. So that's why I thought you need to come because she's in the space of family violence space. Her name is Kapambwe Mumba. She'll come on the show today. She's going to talk to us about the services and resources that are there for you. If you think you are in a situation that relates to the topic of today, then she's going to give us the tool that we're going to use. And we're talking to the rest of her board as well. They're going to give us time where they're going to come to talk to us fully about what domestic violence entails. I can't wait. So that is in the pipeline, but we're having Kapambwe Mumba today on the show. So look forward to that. I mean, a lot of us, mostly all of us have got one person or the other in this situation, believe it or not. Either you're ignorant about it, you don't see it, you denying it, or whatever it is, but it's there. So I think we need to be very attentive to, to ourselves so we can help our fellow person. But something happened to me yesterday. I went to the shop. This is when I say when people are ignorant or conscious. I went to the shop with my husband. We were buying something. So basically, I bought a pair of runners. And then it says, we don't need a box. We should take the shoe because it's too heavy with the box. And I'm like, it's not too heavy. You have to take it. And he says, no. So I asked the guy that sells it, and I said, if we take this shoe in the box, what is your policy if I have to return it? And the guy said that, no, if you don't go with the box, you can't return it. So, and I said, I'm not saying I will return it, but let me go with the box anyway. So here we are. I gave it to my husband. We bought a couple of things as well again on our way. Now we have 3 bags. So it's got one that it's not happy to carry, heavy. It doesn't carry anything when it's heavy. And the 2 other bags, I'm like, man, should I take the heavier bag? Or maybe I should just take these 2 because it's not happy with one is kind. Let me just take the 2 and just walk. I can't be. And the girl that served us, she's like, excuse me, he's got the muscle. Just give it to him if it's your husband. Let him carry the 2. That's true. Before, I will not listen to that. I will like, don't worry, you don't know what we're talking about. It's been not happy carrying heavy. Let me just take the 2 and go. When you were talking, Lisa, I said, I just want to be a lady. I mean, what does lady, a woman, what does a woman mean? A woman in the hands of the husband. What does it mean? I'm going to carry 2 bags. How ignorant was I? Thank God that lady called me out of because you're carrying 2. It's okay, you can balance 2, give it to him. One young girl at the shop, I'm like, thank you so much. There you go. Can you imagine me? What is a woman? What is in the hand of the husband?
Yeah. I think it speaks of, the difference between us and the young girls that are coming up now, because we come from a place where we really didn't want to bother the guys.
Yeah, true.
Like, if he's okay with carrying one, oh yeah, let's have him carry the one, I the strong woman who make do with.
What a shame. That is a shame.
I, the strong woman, the powerful woman, will make do with 2 or 3 that are left. After all, I'm only carrying it to the car. You make yourself to understand, and you go through the trouble of doing what a girl of today would otherwise say. You know what? If you don't do it, that's all right. We can do without.
I know. Wow.
So it's good to have them, and it's good to take a few cues from them, because those are the things that allows us to be just women, Really. I mean, what's wrong in carrying 2 bags? After all, we have 2 hands.
I know.
And the person you are doing it for is your, dear 1 in a million. I think
the thing though, Liz, is we get tired and we don't know why we're tired and old. And the men are younger and shinier and whatever. It's because we've been carrying all these bags.
Exactly. We've been strong women. Now we are becoming old. I'm not a strong woman anymore.
I'm tired. No more. I don't want to be a strong. But I say that to just let us know that sometimes there are some mini things that we do that we're not aware of, and we just don't want to be bothered. We're not, it's fine, it's just my husband, whatever. But this thing,
Mm.
I don't think it's not right. I don't think it's right, but I don't want to be judgmental. But there's a story I want to share, and I really, really want to get your insight in this. I was talking to a lady, and she was telling me that when she got married, she used to come out of the bed, come and kneel down and say good morning to the husband. And then she said even the husband doesn't say a word if she does that after she's done that, because she said because the husband is very quiet. So sometimes he doesn't answer. Then I will say to him, "You did not even answer me," and he will say, "Yes, I've answered you, but I don't talk loudly. So you can kneel down there." And I go, okay. I was sharing with another lady. This lady said, in my own case, according to her, I have no violation, no violence, no nothing. It's not happening around me. It could be happening outside, but I don't know. So I now said, about this story, what do you think? She said in her culture, she needs to come and give her husband in a tray, her food in a tray, and then kneel down. And she needs to do that every time and all that. I'm like, and then you are saying there's no violation in your area. What do you think that is? Because you're talking about equality now. So family violence, power, and inequality, right? So if you need to put your husband, if you're sick and you're not able to cook, does he cook and kneel down and give it to you as well? Like, no, 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 I have to do it. And then I said, and then you have children? And she said, yes, teenager. What are they saying about this? What if they don't marry people from the culture? It was a big conversation. And a girl was sitting next to her. She said, yes, this is what my mother does, and it's making me go mad because she's fighting for equality. She thinks she's not being violated against. And then she said, but she's a slave, and we're angry, and we ran out of the house. Another girl was responding to this conversation and was telling that lady that when you're in this country, please, I'm thinking when people come, they need to teach them the law of this land, how things work here compared to how it works in your country. Because our children that are growing here knows what it's normal here. And so when you are doing things that is not normal, do you know the effect on them? And what are you growing? What sort of children are you growing in this environment? Angry, the left, my daddy is horrible, my mommy is dumb, all these things. Why can't we meet halfway somewhere to understand what is norm? Because I personally, it doesn't happen in my country. I personally don't think that is every time I'll come and need and whatever. Where is I don't want to be judgmental. I'm just putting this out. For me, it's very strange that you're going to say that I'm fine, I don't have issues, but this is what I'm doing. What is that?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a tricky one, Temi. The practices, the borders around culture are very tricky to address against issues of what we now call, abuse and violence. In a case like that, it's really important that the way you show appreciation to each other in the family, whether it's cultural or it's a new way of doing things, it needs to be shared from the parents to the children. There should be an understanding of this is what we do to appreciate you for your role among us, for who and what you are. And whatever it is you want to appreciate that person, the father or the child in the house for. It needs to be understood, it needs to be reciprocated, it needs to be shared. Once it borders to slavery, to control and use of power, then we're getting into abuse. And that's where it's not good for children to witness this, because then they are also being abused. Because that's exactly what what child abuse is. It's when the kids witness this, and if the child's perspective, the child's perception of what is happening is my mother is becoming a slave in this house, then the child's perception is true, which is the reason why a shared culture is actually the norm and the best way to do things. So I think that family needs to sit down and talk. What is happening here, and is this culture? Let's understand. Why is mom kneeling? Why should you receive something on the tray and all you do is just look at her? You're not even saying thank you. After all this effort, this woman goes, she probably starts cooking 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon just to be able to, put forward something for him. And, there's no reciprocation of the effort that she puts in. If there is reciprocation, she needs to highlight it when they sit down. The kids need to see. Sorry about that fly, that noise. So that's really my point. It needs conversation. Yes, we need to be empowered about the laws. And yes, we need to look at our cultural practices against, what is called abuse and violence. And yes, we need to talk to our children about that so that we understand these things. Do we carry it on as a family? If it's a yes, we are together in this. If it's a no, we are together in this. Nobody feels, now that you came to Australia, you don't even, bow for me or what have you.
I like where you've taken it to. And so we need to determine which one supersedes one. Is this your religion? Is it your culture? Or is it the law of the land?
Yeah.
A quick break and we'll be back. Welcome back on the show, everyone. We're still talking about issue of culture, religion, and law. Which one supersedes the other? But I like what you said is, if it's a thing, if it's a culture, that it needs to be shared, and then the children needs to know about it. Some culture, for example, where we come from, let me say from my culture, generationally, we've always got help, like house help and all that. So the house help might cook with us, we all cook house help, whatever, and somebody serves daddy, somebody puts food on the table, somebody just does this and that. But in Australia, we don't have that help. There's no extended family to do. And when one person will have to serve you and has to be in the tray and you have to process, I think that is really an abuse of power. And this woman was telling me that sometimes when the man finishes his food, if you forget to bring a napkin, he will just do his hand like this. So the wife, and
wow.
This is why I always say to people, like, you have to mix. If you are just, I don't know, Kapambwe is dealing with multicultural and all that. I don't know how much it's the same community. Anyway, but if you're mixing together, like you have the Greek, the Japanese, the Italian, they come to you, you're having lunch together, would you be bringing tray as well? No. So if you're not doing that when you have all this culture and all these people in your house, then that there's something wrong. And as a wife, maybe you're trying to pretend as if all is well, but you're really, really not happy. And if you continue to do this over years, it will be the expectation of the man. You know what I'm saying? Will be the because the kids said they're not going to do it. I'm not doing that. I'm not kneeling down. I can help him to put his food on the table. I'm not kneeling. And sometimes he can just pick his food from the dining from the kitchen too. You know what I mean? This country too, we both work. Housework is the worst thing. I don't want to do housework. It's killing. It's too much. I'd rather go and work for 8 hours and come home and have a life. Housework, I don't stop. I could work to 1 o'clock in the morning. It's very tasking. So don't say somebody is working from home or homemaker that they're less busy either. So I think we need to be on to understand that mutual help, empathy for one another in a relationship is very important. And when the kids are crying, because they know it's not right. If you're working in the office, you're a bank manager or whatever, do people come and kneel down and give you food? Or did they throw the food and say, "Here we are, mate, you get the sausages"? How did they do it to you? Why is it expected you sit down at home? This thing is very common apparently, and I'm hearing it these days. And for me,
Mm.
I don't know the answer. I just want to say, as a woman, if you're doing something that you know deep down inside of you, you are not comfortable, say it out respectfully.
Yeah.
Share it and say it out, and stop bottling yourself and kill yourself and lose your children. You might eventually lose the man even. So you're losing everything at the end of the day. It won't cost you anything. So resources. Where do we go? I say counseling. For me, counseling is a big thing. Everybody should be going through counseling and refurbishing and shaping their relationship. Please, I'll let you go.
Yeah, definitely. You know what's coming up for me? Cultural practices are normally practiced out of appreciation. We, if you come from a place of fear and you are doing this thing for your significant other, whether it's your children, it's your husband, it's your older sister, it's whoever in the family, the minute you do it out of fear, because if you don't do it, you know, they're going to throw this tantrum and they're going to disown you as a family or what, then that's abuse. If it is coming from a place of appreciation as a nation, as a culture, as a tribe, as a what, this is how we do things, and you do it with your cultural pride and with that appreciation, you are still in a good place. I know some women arrive at the gate when the husband comes, you know, at the door. They pick the coat and his briefcase and, you know, they support him into the house. If you do that out of appreciation for who he is, it's okay. But if you are afraid, you know, by the time he goes and puts down his coat or his briefcase, the next is a slap because, you know, why were you late at the door? Then, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, so we need to check ourselves when we do these things. Am I afraid because if I won't do it, there's abuse coming my way, whether we're gonna quarrel or whatever the abuse is going to be, or am I doing this because I really appreciate it? You know, I think that should be a barometer somehow. And as you rightly said, let's talk about these things because you know, we change. The women that you brought from Pakistan can be introduced to, you know, so many other things around here, which she also thinks she may want to adopt for her personal development.
Yes.
And therefore there is a need for talking about these things, even if it was good for the first, you know, 10 years that we were here. All of a sudden I feel like I don't want to do this anymore, you know, just like you are saying, I don't want to carry the 3 bags while you're only carrying 1 anymore, you know. How can you meet me halfway? Okay, I'll carry 2, you carry 2. Good. We can go on like that for the next how long until I change again. I probably decide I don't want to carry anything anymore if you're there.
That's why take the whole thing.
You know what I mean? So it's cool if it's shared and together we work out what works for us. Okay, let's bring a trolley. This is they've got trolleys that, you know, you can pull.
Yeah.
So almost like a suitcase. So let's put it in there and we carry this thing along as we go, even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't really have to have stressful lives.
Hmm.
Honestly, it doesn't have to be stressful.
Wow.
If we can just talk to each other and arrive at that place where the word of God says, a house is built on understanding. Once that's there, everything becomes effortless.
Absolutely, very, very true. Well, and I like what you said about if it's coming from the place of respect. I mean, um, I will meet my husband at the door. I will collect his coat. I will, but I know that next minute if he's resting, he's making me a cup of tea. Life is reciprocal. I will do that. I will sometimes wash his clothes, and sometimes I wouldn't wash his clothes. But it's not an expectation. When I do it, it's
Mm.
honey, you've done that. Thank you. He knows. And if I'm not doing it, you can do it too. Okay. So it's not, like you said, it's not a place of fear. And
Yeah.
the other thing that I notice is sometimes we're being, like you said, we don't want to give them stress. And I don't want to just, he says he's tired, let me carry the bag. It's a place of ignorance because he doesn't, he's just saying he's heavy for himself. He's not telling me that he's heavy, I should carry it, right? He didn't ask me to be thinking for him. He didn't ask me to be empathetic with his bag. It's not like it's 5 kilos. He's just walking. It's fine. But then I will assume now that he wants me to carry, and I'm carrying. So that was my choice. He's happy to carry these things, and this is what we do sometimes when we think we love, we want to help. I'm not his
Yeah.
man. He's a man. He's got more power than me. They said we shouldn't be talking about like that anyway. That is we're thinking because he's a man, he's got power. But because he's my man, and because I know he has power than me, he can do it. So with your own man, you can decide. I'm not talking about generally all men. I'm saying my own man can carry my bag. So it's not up to me to make that decision for him. But let's go on a quick break and we will be back. Welcome back on the show. We must go to our topic and get our guest on in the person of Kapambwe Mumba. She's going to come on the show and she's going to tell me how, if I'm pronouncing these names very well. But this woman, like I said, she's a family violence advocate. She's a community development, hence she's here today. She works with culturally and linguistically diverse community, Aboriginal, vulnerable individuals and families. She advocates for gender equality, initiatives that drive change. I like it. What we're trying to
Mm.
resist change. What can we do as an individual uh, to pursue this, that every life matters. Every human being is valuable. And I think this is what this woman stands for. And she's part of a community that she's going to tell us about. She's not going to talk much today about domestic violence, even though that is the space that she really, really sits and she cares about. But she is a co-founder and a director of African Family Services Organization. They partner, sorry, with Victorian Women Trust and Global reconciliation. Please, yeah, global reconciliation. We don't need more than that. That's all that we need because this needs to go globally. And I'm going to play a music for her to just softly get on.
Ease in.
Yeah, easy because she's actually a very easy woman. I could be wrong, but I just like her personality. She's absolutely a woman, a lady. We will be back. I'll play this music and then The face of who you're going to see will be the Kapambwe. Let's go. Welcome back. Welcome, Kapambwe Mumba. You're just coming on the show. Good to see you. I mentioned you look so much like Muba. Muba is going to be looking at this show and saying, who is my twinning on the show? So
Oh,
much.
thank you.
Good to have you on the show, and thank you for accepting to show up. Really, I really appreciate you. I can see that you're a community woman and you really have a heart and passion for goodness of human being and equality. So thank you so much, and meet Miss Greatness, Liz.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can. We
Yeah.
can.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes. No, thank you for having
Welcome
me.
to the show.
Absolutely. This woman, I attended a course where she was delivering. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's as substantial as it gets, but the way you deliver, it connects, and we can get it very clearly. And thank you for what you do. I've got a little bit of your resume here. I love it. Uh, I love the global one. What is that? That's such a good one. So you are not just only with Victoria, you are global reconciliation. Are you happy to share a little bit about that?
Yes. So initially, Global Reconciliation believed in our dream of working with the African community, and were able to give us an office space. That's where we had our first office space to be able to do our work and have somewhere that we could actually sit down and have clients or anyone that was vulnerable come in and support us. So they really did believe in our dream. And from there on, they were able to connect us to the board at Victorian Women's Trust and other different community organizations that were able to come together and be part of the work that we do. So the board at Global Reconciliation is mainly academics, but really working to have that reconciliation and peace across the globe, and hence the Global Reconciliation. And hence they were able to support us in really refining, mentoring, and being able to sort of have it in the language that would be understood for our funding bodies.
Beautiful.
So, yes.
You
Sorry.
muted, Temi.
Yeah.
I didn't know if the echo was coming from me. So I said I was right when I said the language you were using, just very understandable and correct. So that's what you're about, to make sure your funding body and all your stakeholders understand the language, like beneficiaries as well. So thank you so much. I'm sure Liz is looking forward to this. Liz also is now working with the domestic violence office, supporting every individual or family in a situation like this. So she's only just started a month or two into it. So, and this is the week of domestic family violence awareness week, isn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah, really good work that you're doing, Liz. It's not easy working in the sector, and yeah, it's a lot of work, and definitely you have to have a cup full to be able to empty that to the clients as well. So yeah, really good work, and I'd love to also hear about the work that you are doing.
Yeah, thank you very much. I concur definitely. There is a lot of work to be done out there in the space of domestic and family violence. The statistics really speak for themselves, and we owe it to our community to to bring the education that is needed, for the required understanding at the level of the community with regards to what this really is. Myself and Temi were talking earlier about, religious and cultural practices that blurs our understanding of, am I being abused, or, is this really culture? Sometimes we think because we come from our countries over here doing what we were doing, and we think it's still okay. But then with education, we realize that, it's not okay anymore. But how do we put that across to our significant other people? That's another education campaign that is needed, and we need organizations like yours to come into that space to enhance, the little bit of work that people like myself and Temi do, just to bring the awareness about abuse, but then how to deal with it when it comes to the extended people. That your services can then support us in that area. So in saying that, maybe you can just take us through in, what are the kind of services that you are in, and how accessible are those to the people?
Yes, so initially, with African Family Services, starting off, we knew that we had to work with the whole family. We couldn't work in isolation with just either the person that's experiencing the family violence or the person that's using, or just the children. It really is a holistic approach coming together to be able to help everyone in the space of where they're at to be able to come out of that and get the support that they need. So if it's a person using violence, what supports do they need to be able to, is it manage their anger or any past trauma that has now become a pattern of behavior that needs to be addressed? So it's really looking at the children that are usually always forgotten, the forgotten victims would usually say, and how we work with them so that they will be future leaders, they will be future husbands, wives, and how we can also work from that trauma perspective to really support them, the whole family. But we initially saw so many services working with either just women and children, or just men, or just children, but just not with the encompassing the whole family, and which is really important to make change within a family and have those equal, respectful relationships that are built from the home, the foundation as well. So that's initially where we've always come from. It's not about separating the families, but how can we support the families to be able to address their needs. Yeah.
That's the exact question I was going to ask next, because people are very weary going to for services and help, because the idea is they're going to separate family, they're going to take my children, they're going to do this, and initially people might not want to separate. Do you refer them for counseling or guidance before these separation things happen, or once they have been people in the, how do you define them now? We don't call them perpetrator, people in the place of abuse,
People using, yeah.
people using a house. So do you counsel them before you just throw them away?
Of course, ensuring safety is a priority, is number one. So is it safe for them to access other services? First, it's their safety. We look at their safety. We do that risk assessment. We do a safety plan to make sure everyone's safe. And then from there on, we assess everyone's needs. So then if the need is to have counseling, then that will be the way that we will go, looking for a good cultural trauma-informed counseling service. But if someone's in crisis, counseling wouldn't be the best option at that particular time. So we look at what is the need at that particular time, and then have things in place to follow through as everything unfolds for the person, the victim as well. So yes, so we really just first, safety plan, and then make sure we have assessed, because at the end of the day, we're walking alongside the client as opposed to sort of making those decisions for them, and we work at their pace. Yeah. And then when counseling comes in, it's more therapeutic. Everything's a bit settled and they're ready to sit down and be able to process that information.
Okay.
And there's lots of resources within each particular space of when a client's needs. So whether it's at that crisis point, there's services like Safe Steps, there's police, there's the orange door. And then if it's not at that pointy end, then there's family therapy, there's individual therapy, there's counseling, and in the different stages of the actual incident. Yeah.
I know Lizzie's got quite a lot of questions for you, but let's go on a quick break. When we come back, then Liz will continue with her questions. Welcome back on the show. We still got our family violence advocate, Kapambwe Mumba, on the show. Thank you so much for that step-by-step explanation of the processes where we work. So Liz, I'll let you.
Yeah, I just want to ask this question, Kapambwe, against the background of your holistic approach, the entire family. You see, there's this thing they say that African men don't necessarily like to participate in therapeutic practices, family counseling and all these therapies, family violence and stuff that we talk about. Do you share that? What is your experience in terms of practice when it comes to that? And perhaps what approach do you use to get the men involved?
So we have been fortunate enough to have men come on board willingly and wanting support for other men. So what we have done in the past, we've done like workshops to find out what is the need and what are the supports that men are needing within the community. And we've had men come from as far as Ballarat, Shepparton, looking for supports, begging for supports to be in their areas of Ballarat and Shepparton. So even when we've run other sessions within Maribyrnong, we've had so many men come on board and want to be part of the work that we do and want to support other men through, whether if they're going through mental health or any other issues to do with the law. So there has been an openness for men to come on board, to be part of the conversation and the dialogue. And that's what we've initially started with, to be able to build those relationships and trust without stepping on anyone's toes, and really acknowledging the role that they are within the community, and really working together and just opening that dialogue on how we can all work together. And of course, there are some men that believe that are yet to get to that stage, and we work with them as well in that particular space, and also utilizing the men that are already on board, that are open to that dialogue, to be able to reach out to them.
Wow. It's good.
That's good to know. Yeah, absolutely commendable and incredible to know that, there are men out there who defy the odds of the stereotypes. I think, Temi, we need to get in touch with those men to be able to become our pioneers, for the drive that we are looking at to get the men involved.
Yeah. We definitely need to get the men involved, because even when I was mentioning about the group seminar that we're going to do, the few men that I spoke with was like, are there going to be men there, or is it going to be men thing? And I said, no, there will be women, and it says men, and it says if it's just the women were not coming, you can just talk to yourself. So I'm like, no, it's not like that. So I'm eyeing a couple of men, my husband inclusive, that is going to be part of this program, because also there's a bystanders effect. If you're not saying anything, then you're probably part of it. But you're not part of it, so you better step up and do something to rescue. It's better to help, which is what the organization is doing. It's not the tertiary, it's not the secondary. You're starting with the foundational one. What's it called?
Yeah, the primary.
You're starting with the primary, which is
Yeah.
prevention.
Yes.
How do we prevent this violence from continuing, rather than going to secondary, where you're going to get intervention order, or the tertiary, when they actually separate you from your family? So what your organization is focusing, which I agree with, is the foundational one, which is the primary one. How do we prevent it? And I think education, 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 because some of the people that do this, they're ignorant, they don't know. They just don't know, because like I said, they're always into themselves in their house. They don't mix. They don't have friends outside of the community. It's only them and only their community members, which in this country is a multicultural. You need to know what is happening out there. And as women, we go out with a lot of friends. We have copper. So we got diverse community as friends. And our men don't have that. So we'll be hearing, whether consciously or unconsciously, you're hearing what is normal. Like I will say to you, I think I said this off one time on the show, when I used to accept apron from my husband. My birthdays get me cookery aprons, and I'll collect them. When I turn 40, I'm like, no, I don't want cookery anymore. I am tired. I've been tired long time now. I said, listen, I don't want cookery. Who cooks? Why do I have to cook? Get me something. Spa. Take me on the cruise. Consciously or unconsciously, I now know what is beneficial for me. Stop encouraging me to be cooking for 24 hours. I'm not cooking anymore. My hands are all chopped up. So now I went and did my nails is this long. And I say, see those nails? They're not for cooking, honey. You know, I mean, you gotta have life, and you gotta have fun, and you're gonna know how to apply this in your relationship. We're not saying about fighting, we're saying about being sensitive to each other and understand and validate each other's same points of view. What view? What I say? Please. We're gonna be asking. Go ahead,
You
please.
wanted to say? Oh,
Go
yeah. Okay, good. I wanted to bring this up, Temi, this comment that you made the other day when we were talking. Just want to hear Kapambwe's view on that. Temi was saying, there's so much with regards to our migrant community, those of us who come from other countries, particularly, when we go out and we go get married and bring the partner over. She was saying there's a lot of gaps in terms of understanding the law this side. And she was suggesting it will be good if there's going to be a service that actually makes it compulsory for couples before they get married to actually go through some sort of a legal perspective training, just for that understanding to be shared in terms of what is abuse, and we know what the law expects from each and every one of us with regards to equalities and rights and all those things. What do you make of that? Is that a good proposal?
It would be a very good proposal if there would be the resource and to I think carry it out. Yeah, so I think for me it's how it would be done. I think it takes, as we see with the government, it takes so long for certain things to come into place, like even past the Royal Commission and why the Royal Commission came into place, just how long things come to roll out. So, but I guess the effects are then seen after. So, anything that would help in respectful relationships, open dialogue would be good. But I guess it's just the how that can be done.
Okay. That's
But
very good
yeah,
because, like I said,
absolutely.
yeah, like I said, it's not that the men or the women want to be nasty. It's just lack of understanding, and
Yeah.
like they need to come here and relearn. So don't say it's because you're living in Australia now you're bad in my country. The thing is, I'm not in your country. Secondly, I probably wasn't born in your country. I'm black, but I'm not actually born. I'm born in Australia, so then I have Australian culture. I mean, so a whole lot of things needs to be understood. And, like Lee said, this is an area that I'm actually really looking at. And I think we will be able to do something for our community. And if we're able to roll it out on our side, somebody else might want to roll it in the north. There has to be something, like you're right. The law takes a long time before these policies is passed to bill and all that. But whatever we can do to help in our community, then we will try. But
Actually, I was just going to add on that. I know the police have been doing a lot of stuff around the law, and maybe those conversations can start there, because I know they'll do, whether it's a football match with community, they do community engagement where it's face to face and talk about whether it's family violence, their role in the community, how they can support before it gets to that pointy end. And I guess that could be the start of a conversation like that with them, and how they feel they may be able to navigate through that, because they are also willing to come to be on the same place with us, because obviously majority of the work that they are doing now is, well, the frontline members is going out to incidences of family violence, and that is every night or day. So I guess anything that would help within community and have an open dialogue, start to work through that would be ideal. And I think it's just having that conversation with them.
thank you. I think at this stage you can tell us the resources that do you have names that you want to give to us that people can go in case of need? And like I said, we're expecting you and your co-partner to come on the show at some stage to dig deep into the what it really means when we talk about domestic violence and the instances or scenarios that you are able to share with us. But until then, if you can give us one or two names of services available today, and then until we see you next time.
Okay, so I think the main one, and I had Liz talking about it earlier, is the Orange Door.
Orange stuff.
Yes, it's your point of call. It's, you can contact them to inquire, you can email them. They are the first initial point of referral. And this is not only for family violence, but it's for men as well and for children. So if you feel a child is at neglect or at risk, you contact the Orange Door. If you feel someone is unsafe, they're needing support, they need to flee because of family violence, contact the Orange Door. And of course, if there is a safety concern and it's an immediate safety concern, it's contacting the police, 000. I know in some other countries it's 911, but here it's 000. Contacting the police straight away, but also Safe Steps as well is a 24/7 point of call that has a counseling line as well, 1-800-RESPECT as well. So I think having those three, if you can't remember any other services or other tertiary ones that come in after, the Orange Door, Safe Steps, and police are really ones that you can have, and they'll be able to mitigate and start the work that is required straight away.
We can't thank you enough. And, for that nugget you've given us, and I've tried that 1-800-RESPECT. Absolutely good. But like you said, the first point of call could be the orange. Hence, I'm wearing orange all today. And Liz, where's your orange? You're meant to be wearing orange.
Honestly speaking, I forgot.
Can I just add, sorry, African Family Services as well. We're here to support our community. We're here to help navigate through any services, whether it's Orange Door or other services. We can support in navigating those systems.
Yeah. So if people don't want to go directly, they can come through you, and you can just help them to navigate the system as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Miss Greatness.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
We ran out of time, but just one quick question that was coming up for me is, can the community or anybody actually make an anonymous call either to yourselves, as in the African Family Service, or to the Orange Door Safe Steps or whatever, if they realize that there's something happening in this family or at this house or with my friend? Are anonymous calls acceptable?
Yes, anonymous calls are acceptable, but they're acceptable. But again, if they feel the person is unsafe, the best is the police, and they'll be able to follow that up straight away, and following up with an anonymous call to all the other different services. But the police also make that initial referral as well when they present at the home.
Okay. So I've noticed, Temi, mental health doesn't really take anonymous calls.
Oh.
Yeah, mental health doesn't.
Oh, the CAT team? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't intervene anonymously.
Yeah.
It's true, because they ask your name, your phone number, where are you, all those things. You're right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think the best would be the police, and then the police can manage everything and make the necessary referrals.
Okay.
And they'll be able to, I guess, make sure the person that's making the reports is safe.
Good.
What a chapter we're closing right now. Amazing. Thank you so very much for coming on the show. Your organization, you are doing amazingly well. I really, really appreciate you. And from all of us, Kapambwe Mumba. Thank you so much. Did I call it very well? Is that the way it's pronounced?
Yes, it was. Yeah, perfectly said. And
lovely.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really been a good pleasure, and I appreciate this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all we're going to be able to take on the show today. Until next week, when we're going to bring you another amazing. We're still on family violence. Everybody needs to hear it. We're not going to stop until it goes round and circulates the whole community. But until then, we're going to say goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Ciao.